Hi everybody, so I'm going to try my best to make the best video that I can. I know that I had posted in this group about addressing envelopes, and I just had seen where a lot of people suggested for people to print them and put them in mail merge and not to use your Cricut just because it's a lot of work. And so I just wanted to make a quick video on how I addressed my envelopes using my Cricut. It's just to preface this, it's not the best way, it's not the easiest way, but it works for me personally. So this is just how I'm gonna do it. Feel free to make suggestions. I know people in the comments have already made suggestions on how they did theirs, an easier way. Just this is the way I like to do it. I'm happy doing it. And I also enjoy filling in the envelopes just because it's kind of a therapeutic thing for me. So anyways, this is how I do it. Again, there's better ways, but it was just asked how I did it. So yeah, here we go.
Okay, so what I do is I open up Design Space and I go over here to the left-hand corner and I go to Shapes. Once I click on Shapes, I go up here to Square and it's going to give me a square. This is what I'm going to use as a template. My envelope is a 5x7 envelope. So what I'm going to do is click on the square, go up to the top right up here to size, and then I'm going to unlock it just so I can have two different sizes. And in the width, I'm going to type in 7, and then in the height, I'm going to type in 5. And this is going to give me a 5x7 template. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to the color and I'm going to give it a light gray color just so I can see what I'm writing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this square and I'm just going to put it all the way in the left hand corner just like this. And this is how I'm going to put my envelope into the Cricut to help me visually be able to line it up. Okay, so for this particular project, I use two fonts. One of them is Cream Candy, and that is like the calligraphy font. And then I'm also using Loves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to text and click on that. And then in the text, I'm going to write in, please kindly, deliver to, just like this. And this is in the Loves script already. I'm going to kind of just make it a little bit smaller. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it into the middle of this template I've created for myself. So we'll just leave it there. I'm going to write text again, and then we'll do Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So for this, actually I'm not going to do a T because you always have to like fix the T with that. So I'm just going to write our new last name, which is Jackson. Okay, and then I'm going to change this font to Cream Candy. Just go over here, type in cream. There we go. And then from here, I just make it a little bit bigger. I'm a little bit blind. Just want to make sure I type it in, or that I get it closed in. And then I'm going to go up to letter space right up here and click it until I get everything together. And then I'm going to right click and hit weld. Then what I'm going to do is highlight again, go over here, and I'm kind of hit it. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to move it to draw and then pen because it updated today. So now it says pen, and click that. And now it's going to show me what it's going to look like all welded together. So I'm going to kind of move this up just a little bit. Take Mr. and Mrs. Ooh, that's way too big. Just going to kind of, again, I'm eyeballing this. There are hacks. There are ways that other people do it. Just, this is how I do it. So once I kind of get it, I like it to kind of fill up the actual space. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click text again. It's going to open up text. And then I use loves for text. I highly recommend using something that's easy to read for your addresses instead of calligraphy or handwritten, only, just in case you don't want anything sent back to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, Cherry Tree Lane, Kissimmee, Florida, 34746, which just is easy for me because that is where I'm from. And then I'm going to center it. From here, it's the same thing. We just need to make sure that we go up to the top and we are having it put to draw. And then I'm just going to size it just to look, what I want it to look like. So look at this. This is 4.2 and this is 5.2. So I'm just going to go over here to size and click 4.2 just to kind of keep them center. Yeah, and then I just kind of eyeball it. I'm going to be super honest with you guys. I know that there's better ways to do this. This is just how I do it. And you make sure this is draw as well. I like the please kindly deliver to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to move up Mr. and Mrs. and then I'm going to just move this up just a little bit. To me, this looks great. I'm happy with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything, and that includes the square and all of this, and I'm going to attach it. So once I attach all of this, we're going to go up to make it right up here. And then it's going to show, and then it's going to show up here. For me, I don't know if this is like everybody else. I'm sure there's a hack. I don't know. But once we get up here, you're going to notice that it is not all the way up into the corner. All right, so what I'm going to do is here's my mat, and I am going to try to, I know it's not all the way up in the corner. When I look at Design Space, there are little lines on each side. I'm literally lining up the envelope to these little itty bitty tick marks right here. So I can see that it is coming to the end of these tick marks, and that's where I need to place my envelope. So that's what I'm going to do. Kind of like something like this. So on the end of these tick marks right here is where I have it lined up. Alright, so from here I'm just gonna go to continue, and I'm gonna sacrifice this little envelope right here. My settings are on vinyl, just to kind of get the pen pressed in there really well. And I'm gonna go ahead and load this into the Cricut. Also do want to insert in here that I use this Sakura Jelly Roll 0.8 white pen, and there are adapters that you can get. I put it in the comments. You can order them. I have just a pencil grip, and I have painter's tape around it. So this is just what works for me. I kind of get it on there just like that, so that it can fit into my Cricut machine. There's YouTube videos on this, so if you just want to check that out, this is what works for me. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and click start, and go ahead and let this print, and let the machine go ahead and do its thing. So once it's done, I'll be right back. Alright, so while this finishes up, I just want to preface that I'm going to use the Sakura Jelly Roll pen in 1.0 to fill in. So the next part is going to be a sped up version of me physically, manually filling this in. Again, I enjoy this part. If you don't, I think someone posted in the comments how you can fill it in through your Cricut. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and go for it. But just enjoy the next part. I also want to mention one more thing before I do the fill in the Cricut Design Space. Remember we put the shape in here? I have that kept as cut instead of draw, just because we don't want to draw on the envelope, and I take my blade out. So at the end, after this finishes up, it goes all the way around it. to cut it, but I just take the blade out so it doesn't actually cut anything. All right, and here's what it looks like before getting filled in.
Okay, so this isn't my best work, but this is pretty much what it looks like at the end. I just fill it in, looks like this. I'm really happy with it. And if you have other questions, just let me know. Hopefully this helps.